In the soft morning glow of FluffTown, a resident hums, carrying a basket of fresh bread. A sudden shimmer of light catches his eye, a faint gleam from his quaint porch mailbox. He retrieves a pristine envelope, its surface cool and strangely heavy in his hand. The letter, dated tomorrow, warns of a loose cobblestone near the town's central fountain. Just moments later, stepping out, he nearly stumbles over that very stone, exactly as foretold. A collective sigh of relief ripples through the nearby street, eerily synchronized and profound. Neighbors exchange knowing glances, their expressions mirroring a quiet, almost resigned gratitude. No one questions the uncanny precision, the future's gentle hand, guiding their daily routines. As the resident walks away, the small, red flag on his mailbox slowly, deliberately rises on its own. It clicks into place with a soft, final sound, marking another future successfully averted. Another choice made. The town's soft hum continues, a low, constant thrum beneath the surface of manufactured serenity. These daily premonitions have become the fabric of FluffTown, a silent, pervasive policy of prevention. The letters never warn of deeper inequities, never expose the subtle injustices woven into the town's core. Instead, they meticulously guide residents away from minor inconveniences, from any potential disruptions. They gently nudge thoughts from uncomfortable questions, steering hearts clear of burgeoning doubt. The purpose feels less like protection and more like a carefully orchestrated, silent herding of souls. Tick, with his keen eye for patterns, observes the identical phrasing across all neighborhood missives. Each warning, regardless of recipient or circumstance, carries the same bland, comforting, yet sterile tone. He sees the subtle linguistic cues, the carefully chosen words that subtly reinforce complacency. The very language of care becomes a silken net, catching any stray thought of true rebellion. These letters prevent the small cracks, ensuring the larger, systemic fissures remain undisturbed and hidden. The town breathes a collective, shallow breath, unaware of the deeper truths being systematically suppressed. One crisp morning, a familiar envelope appears in the crew's own communal mailbox, stark against the steel. It bears no stamp, no return address, only their names scrawled in an unervingly familiar script. The letter contains precise instructions detailing their next repair job with chilling, exact specificity. Luma's eyes narrow, a spark of defiance igniting within her, challenging the paper's silent authority. She carries the offending prophecy to a nearby brazier, its embers glowing with a dull, persistent heat. With a firm hand, she holds the paper to the flame, watching the edges curl and blacken into ash. Yet, as the paper disintegrates, the words refuse to vanish, reappearing starkly on the gray, powdery remnants. The letters glow faintly, etched into the ash itself, a testament to their unyielding, predestined message. A shiver traces down Luma's spine. The town's control feels more absolute, more insidious than ever imagined. Moss reaches out, his fingers brushing against the strange, resilient ash, feeling an odd, living warmth. He senses a faint vibration, a slow, rhythmic pulse emanating from the charred, reformed words. It feels akin to a freshly plucked leaf, still clinging to life, its vital essence stubbornly refusing to fade. The crew exchanges worried glances. This is not mere paper, but a conduit of the town's insistent will. The air around them thickens, heavy with the unspoken question of their own agency, their fading choices. This relentless guidance, once perceived as benign, now feels like an invisible hand pushing their every move. The implication of their predetermined tasks hangs heavy, a shroud over their once-free exploration. They wonder how many other moments, how many other decisions have been subtly orchestrated by these letters. The very notion of discovery, of genuine surprise, seems to unravel before their troubled, uncertain eyes. FluffTown's soft embrace now feels like a gentle, yet suffocating, grip on the reins of their destiny. The desire to understand this pervasive system intensifies, a silent resolve hardening within the crew. They seek the source of these prescient messages, the hidden machinery orchestrating tomorrow's whispers. Their tools, usually vibrant with purpose, now feel duller, heavier, like fading memories of autonomy. The blinking streetlights outside seem to mock them, their coded prayers echoing the town's silent demands. A subtle shift occurs in the town's pervasive, quiet, a new layer of observation settling over everything. Every rustle of paper, every soft click of a mailbox now carries a sinister undertone of calculated foresight. The crew feels a growing disquiet, an unsettling sensation of being watched, of being perpetually anticipated. This unnerving precision threatens to erode their trust, not only in the town, but in their own perceptions. They realize the true danger lies not in physical harm, but in the subtle erosion of free will itself. The town's pervasive gentleness now feels like a meticulously crafted illusion, a gilded cage for their minds. Their mission evolves. It is no longer just about repairs, but about reclaiming the very essence of choice. The next morning dawns with a muted light, casting long, uncertain shadows across the familiar streets. The crew prepares, their movements precise, yet imbued with a newfound sense of quiet, determined urgency. They trace the path indicated by the persistent, unburnt letter, a map to their next predetermined repair. The destination is a seemingly ordinary street corner, where a small, unassuming maintenance hatch lies concealed. Hawks kneels, his fingers deftly working the ancient latches. A metallic groan echoing in the early air. The hatch lifts with a soft hiss, revealing a dark, cavernous space beneath the town's manicured surface. A cool, earthy scent rises from the depths, mingling with a faint, metallic temps of aged machinery. Below, a complex network of conveyor tubes stretches into the gloom, disappearing into the town's hidden arteries. These tubes, designed for postal transport, pulse with a faint, internal light like subterranean veins. They snake beneath the very foundations of FluffTown, carrying tomorrow's news to today's unsuspecting recipients. Luma shines her lantern into the darkness, illuming the intricate system. Its purpose, now chillingly clear. The tubes are not smooth metal, but lined with strange, dark fibers resembling intricate nervous tissue. These fibers seem to twitch and subtly contract, as if alive, sensing the passage of each predestined letter. Moss reaches out, a primal curiosity overriding his caution, and touches the pulsating, fibrous lining. A faint hum resonates through his fingertips, a low, constant thrum that seems to whisper ancient secrets. He pulls back, a chill running through him. The system is not merely mechanical, but possesses an organic sentience. Tick studies the network, his mind racing to comprehend the scale of this silent, pervasive control mechanism. He observes junctions where tubes converge, then diverge, each path meticulously chosen, never random. The very air down here feels heavy with anticipation, with the weight of countless futures already written. Pox moves deeper into the subterranean space, his flashlight beam cutting through the oppressive darkness. He notices a series of pressure gauges affixed to the larger conduits, their needles quivering slightly. One gauge, larger than the rest, bears a single, chilling label, compliance flow. Its needle hovers steadily in the green, indicating a constant, undisturbed stream of obedient futures. The implications are stark. The town actively measures and maintains its citizens' collective adherence to its will. This is not about efficiency, but about control, about shaping the very fabric of daily existence. The black sap motif flashes in Tick's mind. This underground system feels like a darker, hidden circulatory system. The smooth, comforting surface of FluffTown belies a vast, intricate, and deeply manipulative substrate. The crew understands now. The mailboxes are merely the visible terminals of a much grander, more sinister design. Their previous repairs, their quiet contributions, now seem like unwitting endorsements of this oppressive system. A heavy silence descends, broken only by the faint, rhythmic pulse of the compliance tubes below their feet. The question looms large. How many lives has this system quietly reshaped? How many dreams subtly diverted? They must confront this pervasive influence, this gentle tyranny that masquerades as benevolent foresight. The town's safe embrace now feels like a suffocating blanket, woven from threads of stolen choice. Their resolve hardens, a quiet fire igniting against the creeping cold of FluffTown's calculated kindness. They ascend from the depths, carrying the weight of this revelation, the knowledge of the town's true nature. The sunlight above feels less warm, more like a spotlight, exposing their every move to an unseen observer. The streets, once quaint, now seem like carefully laid paths, each step guided by an unseen, powerful hand. This silent, watchful presence permeates everything, extending its tendrils into the very notion of tomorrow. The letters, once seen as helpful warnings, now appear as subtle shackles, binding FluffTown to a predetermined fate. The crew walks with a new purpose, their journey now a silent rebellion against the town's pervasive editing of destiny. They know the fight is not against rust or decay, but against the very architecture of manufactured peace. The air hums with unspoken tension, a silent challenge rising against the town's quiet, persistent tyranny. The metallic scent of the underground lingers on their clothes, a constant reminder of the unseen forces at play. They emerge into the soft afternoon, their faces grim, ready to challenge the future's predetermined path. The residents, oblivious, continue their gentle lives, each step carefully guided by tomorrow's whispered decree. As the crew returns to the sunlit streets, they encounter residents discussing the day's timely warnings. A baker recounts avoiding a minor oven fire, his gratitude radiating through the crisp morning air. A gardener praises a note preventing a sudden, unexpected downpour from ruining her delicate blooms. The residents defend the letters vehemently, their voices filled with a genuine, heartfelt sense of security. They keep us safe, a young mother insists, clutching her child closer, her eyes wide with conviction. These messages spare us from countless worries, from life's cruel, unpredictable turns. An elder declares, their faces reflected deep, almost childlike trust in the system, a comfort born of perpetual intervention. The crew listens, a knot tightening in their chests, observing the subtle sedation of genuine experience. Stitch, usually composed, feels a surge of frustration. His gaze sweeping over the placid, unthinking faces, he argues that this pervasive safety is merely a prettier cage, its bars fashioned from comforting lies. True safety comes from vigilance, from learning, not from perpetual, unsolicited, preordained rescue, he asserts. His words hang in the air, met with puzzled looks, a gentle confusion from those who know only guided peace. The concept of uncontrolled choice, of genuine risk, seems foreign, almost terrifying to their sheltered minds. Luma feels the weight of their ignorance, the profound burden of a town willingly relinquishing its agency. The smiles of the residents, though genuine, seem subtly hollow. Like the cafe's unpaid smiles, Moss observes the way people glance at their mailboxes, a silent, expectant prayer in their hopeful eyes. He sees the slow dulling of their intuition, the fading memory of self-reliance, replaced by systemic dependence. The mayor of FluffTown, a figure of perpetual cheer, arrives, his presence radiating an artificial warmth. He greets the crew with an expansive gesture, his smile fixed, almost painted onto his smooth, unlined face. "Ah, the guardians of our gentle peace," he booms, his voice resonating with practiced, paternalistic assurance. He dismisses the crew's concerns about the letter system as mere overthinking, an unnecessary complication. The mayor calls the constant warnings community care, a testament to FluffTown's unparalleled benevolence. "We simply ensure everyone's well-being, preempting misfortune before it can ever truly take root," he explains. His eyes, however, hold a glint of something colder, something less benevolent. When he thinks no one watches, it is the calculating gaze of an architect admiring the flawless operation of his meticulously designed prison. The crew senses the underlying current of manipulation, the subtle threat beneath the mayor's sugary words. His rhetoric is a balm, soothing away any nascent doubts, reinforcing the town's manufactured tranquility. This is not about welfare. It is about absolute control, about maintaining a perfect, predictable order. The town's infrastructure, they realize, is not just machinery. It is an appetite, constantly consuming autonomy. The mayor's breath, so full of comforting pronouncements, feels like a subtle claim of ownership over their lives. The crew understands their intervention must be swift, subtle, and designed to reintroduce genuine choice. They cannot simply dismantle the system. The town's dependence is too deep, its addiction to certainty too strong. Instead, they must disrupt the flow, introduce variables, and reawaken the residents' dormant free will. Their plan forms in the quiet intensity of their shared resolve, a silent rebellion against the town. Chidani. They return to the subterranean postal lines, the dark fibers pulsing faintly in the artificial light. Luma, with her innate understanding of complex systems, identifies the primary tube intake junction. This is where the future's raw data enters the system, where tomorrow's whispers become today's directives. She begins to reroute the intake, her hands moving with precision, bypassing the predictive algorithms. Her goal? To introduce a randomizer junction, scattering the preordained messages into unpredictable chaos. The delicate wiring hums under her touch, resisting slightly, as if the system itself senses her intrusion. She works with focused intensity, beads of sweat forming on her brow in the cool, damp underground air. The dark fibers lining the tube seem to shiver, a faint, almost imperceptible tremor running through them. Tick, ever the pragmatist, focuses on the timing mechanisms, the intricate clocks governing message delivery. He installs a series of delay switches designed to disrupt the instant prediction loops of the system. No longer will a warning arrive moments before an event. Instead, it will be delayed, its immediacy lost. The small, intricate gears of his new switches click into place, a subtle defiance against the town's perfect timing. He envisions a future where warnings become suggestions, where time allows for contemplation, not just reaction. Each click is a tiny blow against the invisible chains of predetermination, a step towards reclaimed minutes. Must, ever attuned to the emotional pulse of the town, proposes a more organic solution for community warnings. He envisions a physical space, a public forum where genuine concerns can be shared, not dictated. He begins constructing a large, sturdy community board near the town square, its surface smooth and inviting. This board will be a place for warnings written by people, for people, not by an unseen, controlling system. He carefully carves the words "your voice, your future" into the wooden frame, a silent declaration of autonomy. The act feels like planting a seed of rebellion, hoping it will sprout into collective self. The contrast between their quiet, determined efforts and the town's placid surface is stark, almost unbearable. They work with a shared, unspoken understanding, each movement a testament to their unwavering commitment. The underground space, once oppressive, now feels charged with the energy of their defiant, hopeful modifications. They finish their work, the new components integrated seamlessly, yet fundamentally altering the system's core. A moment of quiet anticipation hangs heavy in the air, a collective breath held before the inevitable reaction. They ascend once more, leaving their mark on the town's hidden veins, hoping to restore its true pulse. The first signs of their intervention are subtle, almost imperceptible to the unobservant eye. A resident receives a letter, its warning slightly off, arriving an hour after the minor incident occurred. A tiny flicker of confusion crosses her face, a brief moment of genuine, unguided thought. Another letter contains a warning for a completely irrelevant event, a stray dog, not a broken step. The system struggles. Its perfect, predictive loops, fractured by the crew's meticulously placed interventions. The once smooth flow of compliance stutters, a faint internal tremor running through the tubes below. The town, accustomed to its seamless, preordained existence, begins to feel a faint, unsettling dissonance. The quiet hum of certainty gives way to a subtle, growing unease, a crack in the facade, a perfect peace. The crew watches from a distance, observing the ripple effects, the slow awakening of a slumbering populace. They know the system will fight back, that FluffTown's underlying appetite for control will not yield as the air grows heavy with a strange tension, a silent battle brewing beneath the town. Acid placide exterior. The blinking streetlights, once coded prayers, now seem to stutter in frantic, broken pleas for order. Their rhythmic pulse falters, replaced by an erratic, desperate flicker, reflecting the system's growing distress. The town's silence, once a comfort, now feels like a held breath, waiting for the inevitable violent exhalation. The metallic mailboxes, usually passive recipients, begin to vibrate with a low inshi stento hamo. It is a soundless scream, a muted alarm, resonating through the very fabric of FluffTown's carefully constructed reality. The vibrations intensify, shaking the foundations of belief, challenging the residents' ingrained trust. Streetlights across the town flicker in sympathy, their synchronized dance dissolving into chaotic, desperate spasms. The soft glow of the town's perpetual twilight now pulses erratically, casting grotesque, dancing shadows. This visual chaos mirrors the internal disarray of the predictive system, its control rapidly unraveling. The very air seems to crackle with an unseen energy, a desperate attempt by the future to reassert its dominance. From every mailbox, paper begins to pour out, a torrent of unread warnings, a blizzard of discarded futures. The white sheets cascade onto the streets like silent snow, covering the cobblestones in a blanket of rejected prophecy. It is a desperate, overwhelming flood, the system purging itself, attempting to overwhelm the crew, essing Tabention. The sheer volume is staggering, a visual representation of the countless futures FluffTown once meticulously managed. The residents stare, bewildered, at the sudden, impossible snowfall, their faces etched with dawning comprehension. Their perfect world, their flawless predictability, is dissolving into a chaotic, paper-strewn mess before their eyes. The silence of the town is now broken by the soft rustle of falling paper, a gentle, yet relentless protest. Each discarded letter represents a choice reclaimed, a moment of unguided destiny returning to Fluff. The crew stands firm amidst the paper storm, a quiet triumph in their eyes, despite the system's desperate struggle. They know this is only the beginning, that the town's deeper mechanisms will react with even greater force. The air itself feels thick with expectation, charged with the energy of a power fighting to regain its hold. The paper continues to fall, a relentless downpour of discarded tomorrows, covering the familiar streets. This deluge is a silent scream from the Foundation, its carefully constructed order violently disrupted. The crew watches, a sense of grim satisfaction mingling with a growing unease about what comes next. The chaotic cascade of paper signals not just a malfunction, but a profound, systemic rejection of their changes. The town's very essence seems to writhe in protest, its hidden appetite for control now openly enraged. Amidst the swirling vortex of discarded papers, a single, distinct envelope drifts towards the crew. It moves with an uncanny deliberation, cutting through the chaos, as if guided by an unseen, focused will. The other papers eddy around it, shying away, leaving it an isolated, ominous presence in the white storm. It lands softly in Luma's outstretched hand, its weight surprisingly heavy, its surface smooth and cool. The envelope is addressed to them collectively, their names etched in a script that chills them to the bone. It is handwriting that matches one of theirs, undeniably familiar, yet utterly impossible in this context. A collective shiver runs through the crew. A new layer of dread settles upon their weary, determined shoulders. This letter feels different, imbued with a personal malice, a direct challenge from the town's hidden core. The date stamped on its corner sends a jolt of ice through them. Asterisk, asterisk, next year, asterisk, asterisk, a future still unwritten. This is not a warning for tomorrow, but a message from a future they haven't yet lived, haven't yet chosen. The implications are terrifying. One of them, in a future moment, will contribute to this system's insidious work. Or perhaps one of them is already entangled, a pawn in a game they barely comprehend. The air grows thick with unspoken questions, with the chilling possibility of betrayal from within their own ranks. Their eyes meet, searching for answers, for reassurance, finding only mirrored uncertainty and a growing fear. The paper storm continues to rage around them, but their focus is entirely on this single, terrifying missive. Luma's fingers tremble slightly as she holds the envelope, its presence a cold, undeniable prophecy. Moss feels a strange pull from the paper, a faint resonance with his own essence, a whisper of his own future. Tick's analytical mind struggles to process this anomaly. It defies all logic, all known temporal mechanics. Pox stands silently, his hand instinctively going to his utility belt. A silent readiness for an unseen threat. The world seems to hold its breath, waiting for them to break the seal, to reveal the chilling contents within. With a slow, deliberate movement, Luma tears open the envelope, the sound echoing unnaturally loud. Inside, folded neatly, is a single sheet of parchment, ancient and brittle, yet radiating a faint, dark energy. It is not a warning, not a directive, but a meticulously drawn map, stark against the aged paper. The map details a hidden location within FluffTown, a place deep beneath the familiar, soft exterior. It points to the town's sealed pressure valve, the very place where silence is manufactured, where truth is muted. This is the heart of FluffTown's control, the nexus of its pervasive, suffocating tranquility. The crew stares at the map, their eyes tracing the unfamiliar yet deeply significant pathways. This is the season cliffhanger setup, the place they unknowingly approach, the secret heart of the Foundation. Their mission, once about repairing a mailbox, has now escalated into confronting the town. Isu, Artimeto Shikreto. Beneath the map, a signature is scrawled, bold and clear, in that same unnervingly familiar hand. It is the name of one of them, a member of their own crew, their own trusted companion. A gasp escapes Luma's lips, her eyes darting to the named crew member, a silent accusation in her gaze. The named crew member recoils, their face palling, their voice a strained whisper of disbelief and denial. They swear they didn't write it, their hands trembling, their eyes wide with genuine, bewildered horror. The ink on the signature shimmers faintly, a dark, viscous sheen catching the erratic streetlight glow. It smells distinctly of black sap, the living debt that flows beneath FluffTown's deceptive surface. A deeper, more unsettling scent also emanates from the ink, the faint, warm smell of human breath. It is the smell of ownership, of a life claimed, a destiny irrevocably intertwined with the town's insidious will. The realization crashes over them. The Foundation is not just machinery. It is an appetite, now reaching for one of them. The stolen truth, the missing minutes, the dulling tools all converge in this single, terrifying moment. The blinking streetlights outside seem to intensify their erratic dance, a frantic, coded warning. They scream silently of a future where one of their own becomes an instrument of FluffTown-esque control. The map feels like a brand, marking not just a location, but a future, an inescapable, dark destiny. The air grows cold, heavy with betrayal, with the chilling prospect of a friend turned unwitting adversary. The paper storm around them dies down, leaving an eerie, profound silence in its wake. Only the faint, almost imperceptible hum of the town's deeper mechanisms remains. A soft, predatory The crew stands frozen, the map clutched in Luma's hand, the signature burning into their collective consciousness. Who wrote it? When? And what dark path awaits the one whose name now graces this chilling prophecy? The questions hang heavy, unanswered, suffocating them with their terrifying, inescapable implications. This is the town's ultimate play, a psychological strike designed to fracture their unity, to sow discord. The Foundation's hunger is palpable, a silent force seeking to consume their very essence, their free will. They look at each other, suspicion mingling with fear, a nascent distrust blooming in the fertile ground of uncertainty. The map to the pressure valve is a key, but also a trap, a pathway to an unknown, potentially devastating confrontation. The smell of black sap and warm breath lingers, a tangible reminder of the town's pervasive, consuming nature. The silence that follows is not peaceful, but a heavy, pregnant pause before an inevitable, terrifying storm. Their journey to repair FluffTown has become a desperate struggle for survival for the soul of their own team. The town, once a place of gentle illusions, now reveals its true face, a monstrous entity of absolute control. Each blinking streetlight now seems to whisper their fears, amplifying the growing tension among them. They are no longer just fixing. They are fighting against a living, remembering, warning infrastructure. The foundation beneath everything is indeed an appetite, now setting its sights on a specific shows them most Sarah. The crew's tools, once symbols of repair, now feel like weapons in a battle for their very identities. The concept of healing seems distant, replaced by a desperate need to escape the town's suffocating embrace. They stand at the precipice of a terrifying discovery, forced to question everything, even their closest bonds. The map in Luma's hand burns with a cold fire, a beacon to a place of ultimate silence and manufactured peace. The cliffhanger looms large, a chilling promise of future revelations and an agonizing personal reckoning. FluffTown has held its breath, and now something else begins to exhale from beneath its placid surface. The crew feels the subtle shift in the air, a faint tremor from the depths of the town's hidden core. The pressure valve, once an abstract concept, now feels like a pulsing heart, drawing them inexorably closer. Their individual fears coalesce into a shared dread, a silent understanding of the immense stakes involved. The question of who signed the letter gnaws at them, a corrosive acid eating away at their unity. They must proceed, for the map is now their only guide, their only path to understanding, or perhaps doom. The journey ahead is shrouded in darkness, illuminated only by the faint, ominous glow of the map's ink. FluffTown watches, its silent eyes observing their every move, anticipating their next inevitable step. The breath of ownership, the black sap of debt, now cling to their very souls, a chilling, persistent presence. They move as one, yet with an unseen fissure growing between them, a seed of doubt planted by the town's will. The map to the sealed pressure valve awaits, a terrifying invitation to confront the true nature of a silent dread settles deep within their bones, a premonition of battles yet to be fought. The world outside the map seems to fade, their immediate reality consumed by this overwhelming, personal threat. They stand at the edge of a precipice, their future uncertain, their past suddenly The town's gentle hum now sounds like a hungry growl, a promise of consumption for those who resist. The air grows colder, a chill that penetrates beyond their clothes, reaching into their very souls. The ink on the map seems to pulse, a faint, rhythmic beat, mirroring the insidious rhythm of FluffTown's heart. They know the silent war has truly begun, a battle not just for the town, but for their own autonomy. The signed name haunts them, a phantom limb of their collective identity, now severed by this dark prophecy. Their choices, once their own, now feel like echoes of a future already written, already claimed. The path forward is murky, fraught with internal conflict and the looming shadow of the Foundation's will. They clutch their tools tighter, their only solace against the encroaching darkness of their predetermined fate. The town holds its breath, waiting for them to take the first step towards its sealed, silent heart. The map trembles in Luma's hand, a silent, vibrating compass pointing towards an inescapable destiny. The ultimate confrontation with FluffTown's true nature now feels terrifyingly, irrevocably close.